debug it to start off with. So we should always do it. So if I do that, box that word, explain what's our command word would mean. Remember what I said to you, give. Yeah, well done. Give reasons why. Environmentally sustainable. What does environment mean? Means, yeah, landscape. Excellent. Sustainable. Keep, maintain, or enhance for future generations. 1, double underline that because it only wants one method. Improving food production method. Okay, so basically in a nutshell, what method can improve the environment but also food production? So it's going to ask you, because it's explain, it's going to ask you for an idea. Development. Remember, our strategy for development is so what? And then it wants an idea, and it then wants another development. That's what marks the examiners would give you like this. So we can structure our model like this. So in terms of our brain dump, what could we use? Yeah, but if you summary up, if we're doing a brain dump and we're looking at page 276 and 277, what could we use to answer this question?
Intense farming.
Are you going to use intense farming? Is intense farming environmentally sustainable?
Yes.
So we have to have, so in our brain dump, and you could be sketching this down as I do it, we are going to talk about organic farming. Now, what ones could we talk about? If we were talking about an idea, what could we talk about? What could you say for your idea? Using those boxes around that picture.
Biodiversity.
You could say biodiversity, but I would talk about, so you could say a way, so look at the way I structure, a way of being environmentally, remember I always use the words in our question, environmentally sustainable and increase food production is organic farming. That would be 1 mark. So in my brain dump, I've got organic farming. That's already got me a mark from the exam board without writing anything else. So if we're doing organic, how does it make it environmentally sustainable?
The crops are not sprayed with a lot of chemicals.
Okay, so they spraying, you could write that down. That could be a development. They use, if you want to link to that, they use organic pesticides. Because they're not spraying a lot of chemicals, they also rotate crops, and in turn that increases biodiversity. So just writing 3, I mean, you in your brain dump you can elaborate on that, but when you come to a revision card, you can do how I've done it here, where I've literally written organic farming, spraying organic pesticides, rotate cross biodiversity, and I've done it in a circle. And then I'm going to write in there equals sustainable. So then I'm going to start modelling my question. So when I'm modelling my question, I've already got my 1 mark. Now I've talked about organic farming. Well, I need to develop my ideas. So I'm going to say in my head, so what? What does that mean? How do I develop that? How do I expand on that? So you can say when they spray crops, they use less pesticides, insecticides, and fertilizers. Which helps biodiversity of plants. That's my first development. The yield is 20% lower, but still close to intensive farming. So, but better for the environment.
So you know as so when they spray crops.
Yeah.
What does that say?
When they spray crops, they use less pesticides, insecticides, and fertilizers, which helps biodiversity of plants. And then I've talked about yields because I feel yield means food production, the amount of food you can produce in an area. So yield is 20% lower, but still close to intensive farming, but better for the environment. That's my next idea. And then I'm going to talk about animals are less stressed and better cared for. And plants thrive with crop rotation and attract insects. So here I've talked about the yield, which is food production. So if I was glancing back, I would tick things off in my question, and that's what I would do if I had time in my test. So I look back, I've got spray crops, use less pesticides, fertilizers, which helps biodiversity. So I've answered this section, environmentally sustainable. I've talked about the yield, maybe less, but it's better for the environment. So I've talked about food production here. I've talked about environment again there. And then animals are less stressed, better crop rotation, and they attract insects and plants thrive. So again, I am talking about environmentally sustainable. That would get a 4 out of 4 mark answer. So if I stop recording and then I zoom in, I can zoom in whilst I'm doing it. Stop recording and I'll take a photo.